Right, so we've switched her on for the first time in a few months. We just started her up and set off the fire alarm, so that wasn't very good. And this is how the back end is looking. Looks sweet. Now, we did include the fuses with these, which I think was a mistake, because when we put the hazards on, the rears are working. Sorry, they're not the fuses, the resistors. So they come on. But they don't stay on. So you're going to have a look at that and see what's causing. I think it's the resistors. But we'll have a look. They look really cool. I mean, they're sequential as well. But I'm so happy the way it's looking. It's coming along beautifully. Just a few more parts to go now. Just the sprocket set, AEM Factory Sprocket Kit. The wheels, which we're going to put on, which is still over there. We start it up. It's insanely loud with those exhausts. We do still have to download that up map. That is all fitted under the seat. That would be something I'm going to do probably tomorrow. And yes, you do get condensation. It's just a natural phenomena because obviously it's going to be warmer inside the engine than outside. Moisture, however way you look at it, is going to get in there. So there's a lot of people that buy these kits who start their bikes up and they go, oh my God, my bike is broken. It's just the difference of air temperature. It's pretty cool in here in the warehouse. It's probably about 9 degrees, if that. So as soon as you go out for a little ride, or if I was to keep it running for a bit longer, then all of that would dissipate and it will be crystal clear again. So it's nothing to worry about. The only time you want to worry about it is if your oil is milky, not the actual glass. So we put some fresh oil in. So now I've started it, I'm going to leave that overnight and just see where we are on the level. I've put 2.5 litres in, so the recommended amount is around about 280 or 2 litres, 2.8 litres or 3 litres. Now we did leave it, the oil dripping overnight, so hopefully all of it's out, but you want to start off little and see where your levels are and then top it up if needs be. So that's both side panels installed. When we have the belly pan, the satin finish is going to follow the contours of these two satin parts. So I do prefer that in carbon than silver. I think the silver would just be, draw your eye down too much and away from the tank and the other small silver parts. So just about to fit the other wing on that side. As you can see, there's one this side. So we're going to do that now. Okay, so here's the right hand side. Excuse the grubby fingerprints, that will all be cleaned off shortly. We haven't completely installed them because we are still waiting for the inner brackets inside here, which should hopefully be here by the end of this week. And yeah, really happy with that. And yeah, much nicer than the cup holders. And they do generate downforce. They have been tested and designed in a wind tunnel, so they do keep to the original performance spec of the original parts. So we're pretty almost done. Got to put the wheels on yet. I've had to take the tail unit out to update the T800, which you can see here. So we've gone for the M-Torque map and just waiting for that to come into the account, and then we can upload it onto the bike. We might be fitting the Panigale V4 rear sets, not sure yet. They are different. These do kind of hang lower than the Panigale. We would like the Streetfighter versions, but we just don't think we're going to get them in time. And then we're going to put the AEM Factory frame plugs back in here as well. So that's how she's looking. I'll give her a thorough clean. We've also got stone chip protection, like Venture Shield, which I'll be putting on, and I'll do a video of that. Get it ceramic coated as well. Makes cleaning a lot easier and just keeps it in good tip-top condition. We received a message on our YouTube channel from Tucker Hauser. I think I pronounced that correctly. And he asked whether the switches retained all of the same buttons as the original. Yes, they do, and a bit more, to be fair. Here I've downloaded off of Ducabike website, basically the instructions of how all the buttons work. So you've got a menu A and a menu B. Now to switch menu button is an override, or a diverter they've put, which enables the B menu. So to switch the menu from A to B is this grey button here. So let's have a look. So I guess you'd want it for normal road riding or whatnot. You would want menu A, and for menu B, we'll be changing the options on the dash. So if we have a look here, so there's the grey button just here. Okay, so that's just a reset. So what we want is option A, which will then give us the indicators. So option A, so we've got highlight, which I guess is obviously the headlight, which is here. Yep. Turn indicator, right turn indicator, which is that one. So that's the right indicator, which is the grey one here. The green is the cancel indicator. Then you've got the left, which is the yellow. So that's pretty cool. So right, left. Getting used to. Then we've got the horn. Yeah, that works. So we've got the back menus, light LED select, and then we've got new and hazards here. So that's now going onto the menu, and as you can see, there's the says reset, and we want to, if we go up, so there we go, that's just reset the miles. And if we want to go to mode, there we go. So that's up and down, lap times. So I've just switched it back onto menu A for roads. Now the switches on this part, you've got the on-off button. So you need to have this button on for when you start it. You've got your DPL, launch control. So you don't want to do that. And yeah, that's how they work. Okay, so we finally downloaded the M-Torque map. Had a slight issue. When I downloaded the app on the phone. I connected the ECU, which you can see the blue light down there, the up map, which are connected fine. And then I went onto the app to buy the map, purchased the map, paid through PayPal, and no map was coming through. So went back, purchased, see if it's showing as purchased, and it wasn't. So I messaged Termignoni stroke up map and said, look, I've purchased the map, hasn't gone onto the app, so can't download it. And within 24 hours, they got back to me and said that there has been a slight bug within the purchasing app, which doesn't recognize when a purchase through PayPal has gone through. So they manually added it to my account on the app, and this morning we have just uploaded it. It takes about 15 minutes, really simple. You just put your phone close to the unit, press the map button, it transfers everything through Bluetooth. The M-Talk, there is a chap on YouTube, I will put a link in the description. He's done a good dyno with a friend of his, the race map, the M-Talk, and the standard map, and he's chosen to do it in third, fourth, fifth gear. And the M-Talk does show an increase of torque around the mid-range, which is exactly what you want. I mean, with a naked bike, I mean, that they were looking at the top end numbers and getting like 1-2 brake horsepower more, and I think they got up to 203 brake, which is fantastic. You know, the Panigale V4R of his friends, you know, had less brake horsepower. But at the end of the day, it's a naked bike. I'm just more interested in the torque factor. At the bottom under here, what we've done is we've had the tank painted. The tank was painted by our friends at Ducabike, and what they've done is they've painted over the carbon in this awesome aluminium brushed effect, and they lacquered it in a satin finish, so we've got the contrast between the gloss and satin, and it just makes it look more real aluminium. So we had that painted, and then I asked for it to come all the way down underneath here, so it looks like one whole unit, which it is. But then I've also kept the center here piece in exposed carbon. I love it. Our last bike, if you look at our previous videos, in 2014, I built a Panigale 1199 RS, using, again, a lot of 4.6 parts, Ducabike parts. We got it featured in Fast Bikes magazine. So I'll be reaching out to those guys again and some other bike magazines, see if they want to come down and do a photo shoot of it. So if you are subscribers to those magazines, then I'm sure you'll see some really good high quality photos of this build on there. So I'm going to be swapping out the original bolts and attaching the titanium coloured with titanium bolts, the AEM Factory frame plug caps, and they will be going on there just like that. So just need to unscrew the cap, remove that bolt. We have put it on a jack which is holding the engine in position, so when we take this out, the engine's not going to drop, because that is literally just that and the swing arm holding the engine pretty much in position. You do have this bolt here, so yeah, that'll just keep it more steady, and we'll replace it with this and see how that looks in just a second. And there you have it, and that complements the one down here nicely in the rear set bracket. So really happy with that. And the titanium finish again is going to look great when we've got the Sprocket kit fitted. And as you've all mentioned, this is the option 2, and yeah, we're definitely going to go with that. Most people preferred the design and look of this one compared to option 1, so that will be going onto the back just there. So now to do the other side. So we had to use the original screws for these, and as you can see, the silver just really kind of pops out. So we've ordered some Pro Bolt black replacements, and they should look loads better. So I was going to fit those now, and we'll show you what they look like afterwards. Right, so we've installed the bolts, the black bolts, removed the original silver ones, and that looks lots better. For me anyway. So with our front wheel, we'll be adding these Pro Bolt titanium bolts. These are the disc bolts, and they come with a sachet of copper grease as well. We've got our own, but that's always handy. And yeah, so we'll be fitting those today. We'll also have the AEM Sprocket Carrier Kit, and we'll see how those look in a minute. Here is option 2 of the AEM Factory sprocket cover that we're going to be fitting today. So with these, we've got the 525 42 teeth, and we've got the titanium M8 nuts, and here we have torque settings. So with these, it gives you the flange, and then you've got the titanium here and the aluminium. So the flange nuts, you've got the M8 125, which are these are the M10, and these basically give you the Newton meters that these nuts should be. The DU007 is the center sprocket nut here, so this gives you the Newton meters here, which is 200 by 220. With AEM, they do have the torque settings sometimes on the sprockets themselves, sprocket nuts. And here's the rest of the nuts. So if you've got like a hypermotard which uses a smaller sprocket nut, then we've got the Newton meters for the aluminium and titanium there as well. So we'll be grinding off the chain. We're putting a new DID chain on, which is this one here. And because we're keeping to the same pitch for the street, we're not changing the front sprocket. I mean, the bike's done less than 1,000 miles, so it's not going to make any difference if we were to change that or not, so we may as well just keep it as it is. So whilst we have both sprocket kits off the bike, we're going to do a weight comparison. Here's the original everything on here. So I'm going to pop this on here. So 2.3 kilos is the original kit, and the AEM kit feels much lighter already. 1.3 kilos, so that's a kilo lost in weight just from swapping that over. And here is the beautiful AEM Factory sprocket kit on the bike. We're just going to go through and torque up the bolts. Now we're using titanium hex nuts on the top, which were 44 Newton meters, were they?
No, 35.
35 newton meters, and these are the M10 aluminium, which will be 44 newton meters. We've tightened up the sprocket nut between 200 and 220 newton meters, and we're going to be Loctiting all of these together before we torque them up. Next will be the wheels. So we're going to put the wheels on, and it's all looking beautiful.